So you are a gardener that absolutely loves tender plants. They might be tropical, they might be exotic, or just something really rare and special. It looks fantastic in summer, but then winter rolls by and those winds, the snow, the ice, the cold weather just seems to scarper all of your passion for your garden. And it's painful to step outside and see the damage. Believe me, I know how it feels. I'm here to say you're not alone, and it's not all bad. Now, a few weeks ago, the temperature in my garden here in zone 9, borderline 9B, in the UK dropped below freezing for a long time. All day and all night was freezing temperatures. And shortly after the garden thawed out, I went for a walk around and I gave all of you a garden tour. And I was quite smug about how my garden had coped and it had shrugged off the cold weather. Now, I did say throughout that video we're going to have to wait until spring to see how the garden has really kind of held up through those conditions. Well, I can tell you it's already starting to reveal the truth to me. It's been mild after that freeze. Nighttime temperatures in my garden are remaining above 10 degrees Celsius, which is beautifully mild for someone who loves tender plants like me. But that milder weather is revealing the true damage that actually happened to the plants. And after seeing a fantastic video by Yorkshire Chris that explained perfectly the ways that cold can damage your plants, I went out and I went to inspect the damage a little bit more closely, and I can tell you, not all of the plants that I thought had survived are looking anywhere near as good as they were then. But the thing is, with hardy plants or half hardy plants, that doesn't mean they're going to look fantastic all winter. It means that they might show battle scars, but they are likely to be resilient enough to push through and they will regrow in spring. Hardy just means it's got the ability to survive winter. It's not going to be able to walk the catwalk in the middle of December. Now, some of my plants, I hope, are these half-hardy or hardy plants that are just in a stage where they're not out and ready to party at the moment, and the Aeoniums are some of these. Now, if you've been subscribed to my channel, you will know that I've been experimenting with some UK half-hardy cultivars. That's Aeoniums that have self-seeded or been hybridized in Cornwall and are surviving down there. Now, the conditions there are much milder than my garden, but it's worth experimenting. I mean, it's typical we get one of the coldest winters immediately when I'm experimenting with plant hardiness, but like I say, it's a process and you learn. Now, with these Aeoniums, they are absolutely looking disgusting. The cells inside of those leaves are absolutely full of water. That's why they're called succulents. Those succulent cells have expanded when it's frozen, and that's burst the cell wall, and that's damaged the leaf, and they're all dying. They're all turning black and dropping off. Now, I was out in the garden recently, and I saw that one of my Aeoniums, which is now just a bare stem, is covered in green specks. And on closer inspection, each one of those specks is a new branch, a new rosette forming. Now, this is what I mean about hardy plants. It looks terrible, but it is surviving winter so far. Now, that promising sign is making me not want to pick all of those horrible, nasty looking, rotting succulents up and put them in the recycling. I'm going to keep hold of them. I'm not going to pull the leaves off, and I'm just going to see what happens if they're left untended through winter. And hopefully some of them will continue to grow up the stem like the other Aeonium, which is Aeonium Ice Warrior, living up to its name, right? Hopefully they'll all branch out like that, because the stem is still solid, so that hasn't been damaged in the way that the leaves were. So fingers crossed, and it's all just about watching and learning what's happening in your garden. Now, another plant, which was my pride and joy this year, was my Sonchus fruticosus, which is a giant dandelion. It's like a dandelion on steroids, and I'd grown it from seed, and it was beautiful. It's got long, lance-shaped foliage that comes up in rosettes with wavy edges. It's a beautiful foliage plant, and mine was budding up to flower. Now, I put fleece over the top of it, which would have been fine in a normal winter. But as you well know, we did not experience normal winters, and it was very, very early in December that we had a frost, and it was a severe frost, and it lasted for a long time. And it looks to me like that Sonkus, that giant dandelion, is toast, absolutely toast. The stem is just bare. All of the leaves have dropped off, but I'm not going to dig it up. Neither am I going to cut it back. I'm hoping that the rootstock might be okay. It's under a thick layer of mulch, which potentially could have protected that rootstock from penetrating cold weather. And if it is okay, there's a chance that come spring, when the weather warms, I can get basal shoots. That's new branching shoots from the base of the plant that are coming from the life that's kept in that rootstock. I urge you to do the same. Don't go out there and hastily dig things up and cut things right back. Leave them as long as you can, because although that plant material that's black or brown and it's hanging over the plant looks nasty compared to how your garden looks in summer, it's actually helping to protect those young tips of the plant. If all that foliage is hanging over the tip of the plant, that's acting as like a natural fleece barrier. I actually had one of my Aeoniums that looked like it was complete toast, and one leaf had landed on top of some of the rosettes, and I'll show you. They have survived, and they are lush green, so it shows how just a bit of plant matter over the top can stop the penetrating damage of frost. Quite a few of my plants are looking like this, and I'm not going to cut anything back. I'm not going to go out and be obsessive about tidying until spring, and then I will see what shoots. And if by late March, April, which is quite early in the season, but we get warm weather very, very early here in my garden. So if by late March, April, things are shooting, they can stay. If they're not, I will slowly start to investigate. I will cut back the material on the plant, cut back the stem maybe, and if it's soft, I will keep cutting back until I reach healthy material. If I don't reach healthy material, I'm going to get to the rootstock. And if the roots aren't shooting, then it comes out, and it's fine. It's a lesson learned. I know that this isn't something that's going to tolerate extreme cold conditions in my garden, and it gives me an opportunity to put something new in its space. I mean, I'm gardening in a small garden, so having a new space open up is fantastic, because I very, very quickly run out of space to plant plants. It's that journey and that constant evolving in my garden, which I love. Now, I have propagated a lot of plants from cuttings as backups, so my greenhouse is absolutely brimming with plants. I've got Aeoniums, acacias, a really nice Acacia pravissima. I've got echiums, I've got melianthus. I've just got all sorts growing in there, and it's absolutely brimming. So come March, April, this shop is going to be packed full of interesting plants, maybe even February. But right now they're just rooting in and getting really nice and healthy. But I just really wanted to check in and say, yes, our gardens are showing us that all is not well, but all is nature, all is natural, and it's okay. Cold weather is okay, it's winter. It's called winter for a reason. I know it can be painful, especially if you spent a lot of money on the plants, to see all of that hard work go to waste, but it's all a lesson, and there is value in lessons as well. Now, like I say, I love talking about plants, you love listening and probably talking about plants too, so leave a comment in the section below and I will get back to you. Let's chat plants, I won't get bored. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe maybe if you found value in this video, and I will see you all in the next one.